I'm a small business owner from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My wife and I own a hospitality group with 6 restaurants, some small breweries, and 190 employees. It's super important to us to continue the tax cuts, and I know it is important to you as well. But there's some differences in opinion between the House and the Senate, and just Republicans, even in your House. What's your plan to try to bridge that gap so we can continue as we need it? We need to keep hiring and growing, or we're dying. So what's your plan to bridge that gap?
Well, thanks, Mike, for the question, and thanks I know you did some heavy work there in Wisconsin, I'm sure. In this audience, if you're here, you were part of that, and that was huge. Wisconsin was a huge state for us this time around. So what we need to do, I'll give you a little more detail about reconciliation, because it sounds like a lofty concept, but the details really do matter here. What we need to do for small business owners like you is get government out of the way and give you certainty so that you can plan and invest appropriately, so that you know what's going to happen 6 months from now or more. The reason that we're putting the extensions of the TCJA, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the seminal achievement, one of the seminal achievements of the first Trump administration. The reason that's in reconciliation is because, as we noted, those tax cuts are going to expire at the end of this year if we don't fix it. And the reason we have to do it early in the process and not wait until the end of this year or later is because everybody needs to see the effects of that, like ASAP, right? I mean, if you're a small business owner, this is a very challenging time because you don't know what to expect. The markets don't know what to expect. The bond market doesn't know what to expect. So putting that clarity in as early as possible is critical for everybody who is in a position like you are. And so the way to do that is with one big beautiful bill, okay? Like, that's the president's phrase, and I've adopted it. In fact, I have it tattooed on my chest here. I could show you. It's that important, all right? Why? Because some of my dearest friends, Ted Cruz and I are very close friends, Lindsey Graham in the Senate, they've been pushing the 2-bill strategy in the Senate. But I want y'all to know the inside baseball is my math is much more complicated in the House than the Senate. For the first time in our lifetime, the Senate Republicans have a wider margin than we have in the House, okay? And also have 160 plus additional personalities to deal with than they have with just their 53 over there. And I have a much more diverse caucus. So remember, I've got people who are elected in like R plus 26 districts in like deep red rural states. And then I've got people who are elected in districts that Kamala Harris won on the ballot by 10 or 11 points, D plus 12 districts. And those Republicans look at an issue set with very different lenses. Their philosophy and the principles are the same, but their constituencies are very different. And so they've got to be mindful of that. So my job is to find the equilibrium point between the two sides and to advance the ball as far as we can down the field for our conservative principles and get 218 votes. And now I've got a soft caucus over here that they don't have to contend with in the Senate because the state and local tax issue is huge to people that are elected in New York, New Jersey, California, and other states. But think of it, there's no red state senators, because they're all red state guys, that have that issue to contend with. And we have multiple caucuses and interest that I've got to contend with. So finding the right point for all those dials is going to be the trick over the next several weeks. We'll get there, and the sooner that we do, the better it's going to be for you and every small business owner, and large company for that matter, around the country, because that's going to lock in and codify the certainty that you need to be able to do what you do best, and that is grow your business and add jobs.
I saw a headline, I think today,